Hello, I just watched Unsane, a Steven Soderbergh film, and I want to share my thoughts on it with you. This film is a thriller, really two thrillers in one, I would say. And at the risk of saying spoilers, I'll just say that the first half is one type of thriller, more of a psychological type, and this was the half I liked more when it's kind of ambiguous whether or not what she thinks is happening is actually happening. And then in the second half, it takes the turn for a more traditional thriller. Things become less ambiguous, and there's no twist at the end where like, oh, well, it really was all in her head. No, it was it just becomes kind of a traditional thriller at the end, which wasn't a massive problem for me. The first half, I was loving it. I was in the 90% rating right there. And then it took the turn around the midway point, and I just kind of settled in to like an 80% type thing. And I kind of rode that to the end. I still enjoyed it. It's still entertaining. But I just think there was more going on in the first half that I was intrigued by. Whereas it turns into just a basic kind of stalker thriller type thing. So a tiny bit disappointing, but after the fact, I looked up some little reviews on the movie myself to see what other people thought, and it became clear to me that, of course, this movie was made and released as a reaction to the Harvey Weinstein, the Me Too movement, um, the dangers of not believing women's stories about sexual abuse and stalker type things. And so in that light, it makes more sense. The turn it took and things like that. It's not all in her head. It's happening. So I get it. I get it. That made a lot more sense. And of course, from a technical standpoint, the big gimmick surrounding this film was that it was filmed with an iPhone 7 Plus, the whole thing. Uh, and I actually think it worked really well for this type of movie. The kind of person going insane type thing. It made it feel a little more real, like you're really watching it unfold. So I think it added to it. It looked pretty neat. And some of the things he did, the angles and the shot setups, just looked pretty cool for a camera phone. The performances from our two leads, the main actress and then her stalker, they were both really good, really convincing. Especially our lead actress. I think she did a really good job. I thought Jay Farrow's role, his character, kind of annoyed me a little bit. He was supposed to be kind of like the one normal person she could talk to in the loony bin. But he kind of all of his acting was like this. He acted a lot with his hand and his head. He'd bob his head with every line he said, and I don't know why I noticed that so much, but I could not stop seeing it once I saw it. So that kind of bugged me. So yeah, all in all, I enjoyed it. I thought if it had stuck with the psychological route a little bit more, I personally would have found it more interesting. But all things considered, it was all right. Like an 81% ish, clinging to that B minus. Uh, yeah, not too shabby. What do you think?